If you found out the hard way that nameset removal is not quite as easy as you think, this is the video for you. Because by the end of it, I'm going to be telling you 5 mistakes that could destroy your shirt forever. And if this video sounds like something you're going to enjoy, please remember to click like, subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss out on any future videos. I've seen too many collectors completely ruin authentic shirts. Bubbling, colour bleed, melted crests, torn material, all because one small step went completely wrong. Before you even touch that iron, that scraper or any of the solvents, let me show you the right way to do things and avoid these mistakes and keep your shirts looking brand new. Mistake number 1 is using heat, an iron or a heat press to remove that last bit of residue. When there's still a thick layer of adhesive left behind, extra heat doesn't actually help. It hardens it. That glue bonds deeper into the fabric and becomes almost impossible to remove cleanly. So if you see residue, whether it's vinyl, DTF or flock, don't use heat to get it off. Stop what you're doing. Up here is a video that shows you how to get the residue off for vinyl, and up here is how to do it for flock. Mistake number 2 is using the wrong solvent. At best, it can make your life harder. At worst, it can absolutely ruin a shirt. Now, there is no hard and fast rule for everything. Every shirt can potentially be an exception to any rules. But as a typical rule of thumb, I use alcohol for flock, I use VLR for vinyl, and I use the newly discovered DTF remover for DTF. Now, VLR might sort of work on DTF, but it's just not optimal and it can cause smeared or melted paint. Well, here's how to do it right. First thing, identify the right material. So, something like that with the black glue on the back, that's DTF, therefore DTF remover. Something like that, oh, is that DTF? No, it's not. The back is white, and although you can't always see it on the shirt, you can't see whether this is white on the shirt, you can see a lot of the time the black glue to show that it's DTF. So for vinyl is VLR, and then this thicker material, kind of like the felting material, this is flock. So that's where alcohol comes. And then once you've identified the material and you know what solvent you're going to use, always test a little bit. Find a corner of the name set that you want to remove, dab a little bit on and see if it comes off. If it doesn't come off, don't apply loads of the solvent to the rest of the name set because it's probably not the right solvent. You can then work through the different options. And then once you've got the right solvent, you can pull the material around, use one of our magic scrapers. If you want one of those, there's a link to our stand store up there where you can buy one. And always remember to use protective clothing and make sure the room is well ventilated. I wouldn't recommend necessarily gloves. You don't have to have gloves, but maybe a mask, and certainly have the window open. Done right, the results are quick and clean. Done wrong, it's going to be timely at best. At worst, it's going to be a nasty smeared mess. That's the first 2 mistakes, and we've got 3 more that we're going to tell you about. But before we do, let me tell you about our new ebook that we've just launched. It's available now over on my stand store. Over 110 pages, packed with insights from more than 5 years of football shirt restoration experience. It covers everything you need to know, from identifying materials to solvent safety and advanced techniques for removing even the toughest name sets. So if you've ever thought, I wonder what to do next, this guide is the answer. Grab it now from our stand store. Like I say, there's a link up there and there's a link in the description. Let's take the guesswork out of shirt restoration. And now on to mistake number 3, scraping too soon. This one is an absolute killer, and I get so many messages from people that are doing it. If you start using the scraper too soon after applying the solvent, you're going to turn the name set from a nice clean removal into a dirty smeared mess. With vinyl and DTF name sets, scraping too early pushes the softened paint into the fibres of the shirt, and once that happens, it becomes almost impossible to fix. The trick is to wait until the solvent has done its job. Now, for VLR, it takes, I don't know, typically 20 to 30 seconds For DTF remover, it acts a little bit quicker and takes 10 to 20 seconds, and this all depends on the ambient humidity and temperature in the room. Use that waiting time to pour the material around. It loosens the nameset naturally, and then you just use the scraper to send the residue and the vinyl on its way. Patience pays off. Wait, stretch and scrape. Next up is a mistake that stains both sides of your shirt if you're not careful. Mistake number 4 is not using a wooden board inside your shirt when you're using solvent. When you don't separate the front and back layers, solvent and melted vinyl can bleed through, leaving nasty ghost stains or sticky patches on the reverse. This one's simple and it saves so many disasters. Use an untreated wooden board like this. This is a like structural wood board left over from when I had a loft conversion done. No varnish, no coating, and if it gets stained like this, all you've got to do, sand it down and you start again. The wood absorbs a little bit of the solvent, it keeps the shirt flat, but most importantly, it keeps the layers of material separate from one another and prevents any transfer of either solvent or paint from the nameset. Skip this step and you risk damaging your shirt. So use the board, save the kit. Now onto our final mistake, and this happens all of the time. Using the scrapers incorrectly and really forcing the nameset off. This one's painful to watch. For flock namesets, a bit of pressure is okay. But if you're finding that you're having to force things off when you're using vinyl or DTF, you're either using the wrong solvent or you're trying to rush the process. So don't do it. When the fabric is wet, it's fragile, especially in older shirts. So one heavy scrape can tear fibres irreparably and make the damage permanent. With the right solvent and timing, the nameset should just glide off. The scraper is not there to dig, it's there to guide. So don't fight the shirt, let the chemistry do the job. Patience always beats pressure. And that's all 5, some of the biggest mistakes people make when they're removing namesets. And if you've made any of these mistakes, don't worry, we've all been there. I spent years making mistakes like this, so that's why I'm sharing them with you now. The key is learning, being patient and respecting the fabric. If this video has helped you, please hit the like button. It really helps our channel and it helps me know whether you like this type of content. And make sure to hit subscribe and that bell notification icon down below so you don't miss out on any of the future videos that I've got coming out. And if you've enjoyed this video, you're going to love this one and this one. See you next time.